People are just not ready for unique. La 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 la. Damn. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 Island Girl Intuitive. I'm assuming amazing. Life is good. Life is good. I'm looking for an electrician apprenticeship. So I'm spending the next couple of weeks preparing for my exam. Shout out to Jody. I still need to visit you. I want to get that out the way, and then I'm definitely going to hit you up so I can update you once I get all that. I wish I was as funny as Trey Rags. I wish my skits were actually funny. Yes, I totally got you. I totally got you. Woo! All right, y'all. Water squatters. Water squatters. You look like you're looking for an assassin apprenticeship. Colby. Why do you think I'm in Death Vegas? DWMA. All right. So yes, we're here for the water signs. I was contemplating showing you guys my Tyler Robinson video. I don't think if you guys remember, I put out this video about Tyler Robinson when you know what happened. Water squatters. The squad of squatters. And I think I did my thing on that video. I think I have to show it anyway because I think it was just fire. I think it was perfection. And the reason why I'm going to show you guys this is because we do have people talking about Charlie Kirk had an exploding microphone, and I just don't buy it, guys. I just don't buy it, man. I really don't. I think the astrology shows that this lone Aries gunman was the guy. So, guys, I like a good conspiracy theory. I don't like conspiracy theories that are not narratively driven well. How did an exploding microphone kill Charlie Kirk and then the Aries just gets off of a building? Did they tell him to just go up there and act like he was shooting? So water tribe, if you are a water sign, this is going to be publicly available. Water squatters, please forgive me. I'm going to hijack the first 10 minutes of your video because I want to show you my Tyler Robinson video. You took the 7K. Shh. We need to stop blaming Israel. Okay, Israel is not behind the attack. Hey, I need that 7K, bro. Money is tight over here, buddy. Money is tight. Okay, if I can get paid. But still, I think you guys are wrong this time. I don't think it was the Jews. The Jews have nothing to do with this, guys. I think now maybe after the fact, when they were like, oh, Charlie Kirk always loved us, bro. What do you mean? That was our dude. That was a little sus. But I don't think they had anything to do with his murder. I think you're jumping the gun, guys. I don't listen. Unless Tyler is somebody's puppet, but you guys check this out, because the astrology I did on this, I think, is some of my best work. And for it to just, you know what I'm saying? For Luigi Mangione, a Pluto Sagittarius, Luigi Mangione popped the CEO, and half of people are like, oh my God, Taurus is so cute. He should get out of jail. And Aries, Pluto Sagittarius, murked a Libra, and people were like, he didn't even do it though. It was the exploding mic. Pluto Sagittarius, what kind of chaos magic is this? What kind of chaos magic is this? So you guys, I want you to watch this video. I don't like to agree with the police, but the fact that my research and the police's research match, I feel like that says so. I don't know where this exploding microphone I got shot at all angles comes from. All right, as tantalizing as it will be to blame Israel, I don't think that they're involved. My Cash App is $thepeacedealer if anyone wants to send me $7,000. But that being said, I'm dead ass serious. I'm not even joking. So you guys let me know what you think about it.
A suspected shooter, Robinson, who was 22 years old when he allegedly shot and murdered Charlie Kirk when Mars was 22 degrees Libra on the assassination degree, and he was caught within 33 days. Let's break this down. Before we analyze the shooter, we want to actually look at the event and how the stars show how these things play out. For that, we will be referencing Pop Smoke and Young Dolph. In these two cases, we see that the planet Saturn was transiting exactly opposite their sun signs. Oppositions in astrology represent open enemies, which is going to be a prevalent theme we'll see in some to most of these cases. Pop Smoke was born during Cancer season, and Saturn was directly opposite his sun in Capricorn. He was killed in a home, and Cancer rules the private home residence. Young Dolph was born Leo season. Saturn was opposite his sun in Leo, and unlike Cancer, that is an individual homebody sign, Leo is the social environment. Unlike Pop Smoke, he was killed in broad daylight in a social environment. This is what makes the death of Charlie Kirk significant, given that Mars was in Libra, and Libra represents social spaces like college debates. Of course, representing the opposition of Aries, the singular individual, opposite Libra, the social activist. I think what's even more mind-blowing is the opposition we see from the moon in Aries at the time of the shooting to Mars in Libra, just like the trajectory of the shooter towards Charlie given that distance. Mind-blowing is the opposite.
Boom. You see that opposition right there? You see that opposition from Moon in Aries on Tyler's sun to Mars in Libra on Charlie's sun, which is Tyler's moon. This one opposition right here is why you can't convince me that anyone else other than him did it. Look at the line. Look at the line. Shout out to Marilyn. We were looking for you yesterday, Marilyn, but we're glad to have you today. Look at the line. Look at the line. Look at the line.
Position we see from the moon in Aries at the time of the shooting to Mars in Libra, just like the trajectory of the shooter towards Charlie, given that distance. You can literally see the opposition. Let's get a little deeper here. We see that the chart of the shooter features a Libra moon with an Aries sun. Aries, of course, indicating the individual who shot Charlie at a social function. The Mars in Capricorn T-square at about 26 degrees, while this may not be a professional, indicates the expert marksmanship and control in the shot. We may see slight parallels to Dylan Roof and Stephen Paddock, who were, both in their own right, mass shooters born during Aries season, similar to the suspect that we have here today. I initially suspected, like Luigi Mangione, the shooter would be born Pluto Sagittarius, as both of them did coat the shell casings in order to send a message to their victim. Both cases represent a dangerous precedent set by the Pluto Sagittarius generation, alluding to the fact that instances like these are only the beginning, and you may see more cases. Starting with Luigi Mangione, here are the charts of these killings featuring Moon opposite Mars. Then, of course, we have the K Flock shooting in New York, followed, of course, by the recent Charlie Kirk assassination, and again with Young Dolph, the Moon opposite Mars. This isn't always the case, like with Pop Smoke, where the Moon was actually transiting Mars. Now, some of you were curious about the astrocartography, and unfortunately, without his time of birth, this information really will not accurately be able to be discerned. But based on the 12 noon birthday, it does seem like Utah was in between his MC Chiron and, of course, Moon DC line. Once again, we don't know his time of birth, so I would take all of that with a grain of salt. Unfortunately, the discourse online is a
Yes, the nodes are very sus because that eclipse, there's always these weird events that happen during eclipses. So what people forget about this eclipse period is the day before he died, that woman got stabbed, I think in Charlotte, and then someone else died. It was this weird, like 3 people just getting murdered type thing. And it's not the first time something like that's happened.
About whether he was a right wing or a liberal, or whether the shooter directly worked for Israel. Such rhetoric and discourse is only designed by agitators in order to push sides against each other and grow enmity and bitterness, which will defeat the whole purpose of everything Charlie stood for. On all sides, from people making fun of his death to people threatening black schools to be shot up, shows that most people did not really learn the lesson of what was being told through this assassination. Now, whether this is a part of a bigger, wider conspiracy and he's working with others, or this was singularly just him, is a mystery for now. Regardless of what you believe, every moment that you spend pointing the finger and trying to incite hatred on either or sides proves Tyler Robinson right and Charlie Kirk wrong. The best way to honor this man's death is to not let his death be used to incite a potential civil war. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.
So guys, let me let you in. Let me let you in on a little secret. Let me let you in on a little secret, guys. Because you know, I have an angel connect. Yeah, I have meditation music in the background. I have an angel connect, and what the angels let me know is that, first of all, Charlie Kirk and George Floyd have the same birthday. They were just born in different years. So there was a balancing act that was played out here. And while people here on Earth are just kind of being, earthlings, you know how mortals be, just trying to sow division and enmity. Charlie Kirk and George Floyd, do you know where they are? Do you know where they are? Do you know where they both are, bro? They're both in heaven, bro. Charlie Kirk and George Floyd are both in heaven. Okay. Charlie Kirk, upon seeing George Floyd, realized, oh my God, I'm you and you're me. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother, that I ever made it look like we were different people. Okay. And George Floyd forgave Charlie Kirk, and heaven accepted Charlie Kirk into heaven the moment that he accepted that him and George Floyd are more alike than they are different. So look at human beings on this planet trying to use each other to spread enmity, but they're in heaven chilling, bruh. But they're both in heaven chilling. Okay. I remember when Tariq Nasheed posted this, and this is how I knew Tariq Nasheed was a man of God, because God used Tariq Nasheed to show the rest of the world that they're both in heaven and that we don't need to be fighting each other culturally. If these two figures whose lives and deaths sparked so much outrage racially in this country can meet in heaven, then why are we still fighting? Why are we still fighting? And I want to leave you guys with that as we step in to this Water Tribe report. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So welcome to your Water Tribe report, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Peace Dealer. Okay, and we're here to break down, of course, this Cancer season for the water squatters. Okay, yes, if any of you want to buy a live reading or donate a tip, it can go towards that, or some food after. Not necessary, but you will be hooking up a real astrologer. Boom. That's a story for your new rap. That sounded like some water sign bullshit. See, look at the fire sign talking shit. See how dedicated fire signs are to chaos? Like, they just can't accept, we can all be in harmony. We can all be friends. 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 God told me to sing that song right now. God was like, sing the We Can All Be Friends. Let them know. See? The know-it-all Sagittarius. They just want chaos. Sagittarius is like Adam 22 that instigates hood conflict just for views and clicks. That's what Sagittarius is. It ain't know-it-all because we do know. Hey, y'all do be knowing. But like, you like, come on, man. Come on, man. So I look at Aquarius. Aquarius, how you best friends with the terrorists? First and second of all, Sagittarius is the best. All right, y'all. That being said, let's get into. Oh my God! Wow, I was really trying not to say this today. Yes, that being said counts, even if I don't say the with. Jesus Christ! All right, guys. If you guys want a live reading, you know the queue. You can definitely join the queue. Send me your natal chart. Yes, send me that. And I got you. So we're gonna start. Yeah, you missed it yesterday. Baby Buddha Luna accurately called that I would have said it 17 times an hour before the stream was over. And I was only at like 8 at the time, and she called 17. So I'm gonna let someone else get you this time. Yup, if any of you want any predictions towards how many times I'm gonna end saying it, I'm guessing 14 today. All right. All right. I would say that's a lot, but given that I don't even process when I'm saying it real time, really concerns me. So who knows? All right. Cancer. Cancer. Cancer rising. Cancer sun. Cancer moon. Harumba. Harambe. I'm loving because your wifey is the one missing. You're missing. Cancer, you have evolved after a year, and now you've leveled up, and now you're in your feelings like never before. And you're more psychic like never before. First trillion again. Yeah. Even though apparently the market crashed and I think he's not a trillionaire anymore, but he'll probably reset and he'll be a trillionaire again. I don't know how true that is, but who cares? Yeah. This is the voice that got someone spiritually pregnant. That's how sexy my voice is. Yeah. Woo! All right, that was the Cancer report. Next, we have Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. This Cancer season is gonna be in your 9th house, and it's gonna transcend what you're gonna also believe, yeah. And you're gonna also believe, yeah. And it's gonna transform your feelings, and you're gonna know how to be, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. And now for the sign that I got spiritually pregnant. I have nothing to say to you. All right, bye guys. That's what we have for our Water Tribe report. You guys stay blessed as always. Cancer, I had to give you a song because it's your birthday. And yeah, y'all. All right. Until next time, peace. Peace out. I would like to apologize on behalf of the Peace Dealer. He's a little loopy today, so I'm sorry he didn't. I'm gonna have to stand in for him to give you this, of course, tribe report. Cancer, happy birthday, Cancer. I think it is well deserved. You went through an entire year since last year evolving. So we're going to talk about the aftermath of your evolution. All right. Very important evolution that really exemplifies your expansion of emotional intelligence and put you in a position to realistically step into the next cycle of your own evolution. All right. And I think not only is it something you have to really look forward to, but oh my God, shout out Zach and Cody. I've actually met them in real life before. It puts you in a position to really prepare for Leo season. I call Cancer the makeup artist. You know, they have to make the actors look good. You can't really perform looking dusty. You feel me? Do the dusky, do the dusky, do the dusky. You know what that is from. So this is definitely going to prepare you to step forward courageously. We have Venus in your second house. And before we begin to expand how strong you exercise your social value, you know, and really step into greater wealth acquisition, you have realistically evolved over a year. If we look last year, um, last year we had only just begun to step into this evolution. Jupiter was about like 1 degree. All right. And now it has traveled an entire 30 degrees through your zodiac sign. All right. We don't conflate that with constellations over here. But yes, you see, this is where we had started the conjunction. You know, a good dusty looking wig is really part of my style. I make it look a little dusty on purpose because I have a unique fashion sense. All right. But that being said, you feel me? Oh my God. Oh my God. I just said that as well. Looks like we're at number 2. Um, this is an aftermath of showing you how much you have grown in a year. All right. See, Cancer, you used to be able to manipulate someone's emotions with a little bit of work. Now it's automatic. Now you know how people feel. You know exactly what to say to trigger their feelings and then have them in the palm of your hand. I would say the spawn time of such a technique has gone from 5 minutes to 3 seconds. And I think what this also does, Cancer, is you realize the capacity with which you feel about who you are is so much more powerful. You're going to be increasingly aware of how much more you feel you can do to express who you are. So I feel like the best, you saying too much, Colby. The best example of this is you have on new clothes. You have on a new wardrobe. You are not wearing the same clothes you used to wear before. Some of you have upgraded your drip. And when you upgrade your drip and you take it around your neighborhood, you walk around with a certain confidence. Like, oh yeah, I got a new haircut, I got new drip, I'm looking cool, I'm looking snazzy for the youth. And this puts you in a position to feel so much more greater than yourself, for yourself, than what you were ever used to hearing, whatever you were used to feeling. We are seeing a definite evolution of your own feelings about who you are. And what this is putting you in a position to do while Saturn and Neptune are reimagining your legacy is that it is having you step into authority that has taken you over 14 years to build, especially since 2010. really since 2005. But you are completing that karmic cycle, and the integrity of the identity you must have to establish this authority relative to the positions of success you are originally curating has everything to do with the evolution of this next stage of your life. It's like this go around, you are stepping in, you are passing go and collecting 200. You are evolving your personification, but now your job title has changed. You are no longer the person who is working for somebody. You are the CEO. You were a CEO before, but you are now stepping into increasingly more serious positions here. This is not the peace dealer with the wig. I do not appreciate this disrespect. This is my real hair. This is my real hair. All right. So that being said, this is very important because there's a very powerful way that this puts you in a position to, in preparation for Leo season, where we will have the Sun and Jupiter trine Neptune, trine Saturn in your 10th house. It's going to make it rain through you. This is an acquisition of wealth that will draw you through February of 2027, where the nodes will unlock what you're worth in order to transform the collectives you invest in and invest in you. So you need to ask yourself, Cancer, how do you feel? How do you feel, Cancer? Mars is going into your 12th house. You see, I got these new clothes on. I feel very snazzy. I feel more like myself. How do I bring myself and how I feel to situations and make them real? Venus is polishing your 2nd house right now. It is trining Saturn. How are we ahead of time polishing creative talents that directly get you paid? And how do I account for the greater magnanimity of my expanded presence while still having integrity in the career goals that I am disciplining myself to step into? How? How? That is what this Cancer season is establishing for you. Chiron has entered your 11th house, and the wealth that you gain from grounded friendships who don't use you or manipulate you are going to help heal the values that enable you to manifest this support that Uranus has subsequently innovated. And going in your 12th house, well, this opens up metacognition in a way that helps you surrender the need to explain yourself so that you can surrender to what you think and know is the experience and feel it anyway. This is going to test unconscious competence in the way that you privately think so that overthinking does not ruin your life, but instead you can be that much more psychic. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So disrespectful. It counts more when I do it. I am a far superior astrologer to Michael. I taught him everything he knows. That being said, Cancer, cancerizing, especially Cancer moon to a degree, you're going to feel a lot of this expansion, this depth, this receptivity. All right. This is definitely going to really, really, really revisit how much more you have grown, and what is the next step for you, Cancer? What is the next step? Mars going through your 12th is very, very crazy. And if you allow, you can really, really drive yourself crazy overthinking things that require surrender for you to take action off on unconsciously. All right, I'm going to bring back the peace dealer so that he can kind of finish explaining this. I feel like y'all don't appreciate my presence here, but you know, I did what I could. I will be right back. All right. Oh, drink some water, like Patrick CC says as well. I think that's beautiful. What's up, guys? Yeah, that was a shout out to Sir Oreo. I think that was a very flawless breakdown. I don't know about him teaching me everything I know. I think he really believes that, but that's what's up, man. You know, he did kind of teach you a little bit, but like, there you go. So, yeah, that metacognition part was definitely, you know, very, very true. Uranus and Mars in the 12th house. That is a thing. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. All right, that is a thing. This 12th house Gemini. I think. Yeah, I stole that. I took that. I just took that. I stole that ish. Yeah. I want to find, especially if you're a Cancer rising, like if you're a Cancer sun or moon, it's going to be behind your sun. I don't know, because bro, like, I'm not trying not to say it, but like when I say it, I don't know that I'm saying it. So like I'm not aware until after I said it. That's a good question. It okay, I try not to say it now, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that being said, no, Kobe, stop tricking me, bro. All right. Yeah, so that 12th house Gemini is a thing. So I want to talk about it. It's not as deep for Scorpio or Pisces because I got to update it to 4 because, of course, they're more social and universal representations of this water element. So Cancer, let's talk about it for you because, damn, Gemini here does have this very psychosis. The potential for psychosis for y'all, I think. I mean, there's no helping Pisces. Pisces has Pluto in the 12th, so like that's just the whole 20-year arc of just increasing levels of psychosis. But Cancer, it's possible for you. You can literally let overthinking. You can unconsciously gaslight yourself. And please correct me if I'm wrong, especially if you're Cancer rising, right? This unconscious gaslighting can come in the form of having to deal with radically crazy situations that either you're trusting your intuition of something only you think that's crazy, or you accept the situation as it is that's even more crazy. And it's like you kind of want, the reason why this is going to be difficult is you kind of want to surrender to what you feel. And you're very aware of how irrational it is. A great example of this I can give you is like with Pluto in your eighth house of trust and other people's knowledge, and then Gemini in your 12th house of unconscious competence, or just these hidden thoughts. It's like the 12th house Gemini Uranus transit is going to radically, and I'm just channeling, or I'm just kind of riffing here, I'm freestyling, but it's like it's going to accelerate the nature with which you channel thoughts and insight that will be increasingly shaking you outside your comfort zone. So like you can literally talk to somebody and you're going to get this insight that's like, oh wow, this person works for a secret super spy organization and they're just being sent to possibly monitor me so that they can silence me, right? This is an example of something that if you are to tell anybody, you will get gaslighted collectively. This is Diabol Aquarius's probe in your 12th house, monitoring you with your blind spots. So it's like if you try to tell people, the collective unconscious within that person is going to also now share that with the rest of people around you. And now people are looking at you weird. They're giving you these knowing stares, like, yeah, I know what you said. Yeah, you know that we know. And everything that I'm describing is literally schizophrenia. So this is where I'm saying like this, the psychosis is going to ramp up. And the fucked up thing about this is that even though nothing you're saying is rational, even though this is textbook psychosis and schizophrenia, you're still 100,000% right. Take with that information what you will. Your intuition is so on point. That's what the danger of the 12th house is. It's doubt on a level that it's like, this is impossible to believe, but I feel like this is so on point. It's not even funny. Okay. And now the best way I can make sense of this, okay, is that you're conflating, as human beings, we do this, right? Your critical mind that exists in the third dimension is accidentally conflating layers of information and dynamics because your brain doesn't see all the different, doesn't see beyond the third dimension. It doesn't process beyond a certain amount of layers. So like a 2D substance, it can only kind of collapse all these layers in one. So like the best way I can say it is your intuition is on point, but the way you are making practical sense of it is what's throwing you off. And that's not a bad thing. It's the best your mind can do. It's like shooting in the dark and you didn't hit the bullseye, but even though it's pitch black, you somehow threw it in the right direction, right? So it's like you're feeling something, you're trying to put your finger on something, and like maybe the way you try to make sense of it, that's why it sounds delusional, but the essence behind what you're saying is actually facts. So let's say in that case of a super secret spy organization, the person who you're talking to genuinely may have no idea what you're talking about. They might be like, yo, this person thinks I'm a Devin, relax. This is the kindest way I can do it. Listen, the person may not know what you're saying, okay? But you're still right when it comes to that person not knowing they're being used as a collective unconscious antenna to draw out insight from you. Does that make sense? So it's like you're intuiting that person's a spy, right? And that person doesn't know that they're a sleeper cell agent, but you indirectly were kind of right that this Truman Show shenaniganery is kind of real. No, but you see how frustrating it is? You see how frustrating it is? Because like it's so hard to put into words. And Pisces has a Truman Show dynamic. We'll talk about it. They don't really count because they exist like outside of reality. So it's okay, but like Cancer, it's real deal for you. And you had Pluto go over your side. Like Pluto was opposite you since 2008. You had to go through that grueling chapter. Now it's in your eighth, which is even more diabolical. But like that's where that trine to the eighth house in Aquarius is somewhat sinister. And first of all, the whole point of around this is not for you to give in to fear, because giving in to fear will put them where they want you to. They is going to be exclusively vague for now. We're not going to fill in what they is. They is just going to represent anyone that's not you right now. But like they, the collective, and I can say Scorpio, I don't think Scorpio is going through this, maybe in a social way, but this is exclusively for Pisces and Cancer. I'm going to talk about Pisces because Pisces is going through this at a universal level. For you, Cancer as an individual, what this kind of feels like is like you're tapped in to how there is like every like Pisces is tapped into this in a universal sense. Like they can see how every single individual is a part of a whole. And Pisces is interacting with the collective as a whole. But Cancer, you're interacting with people one-on-one. You are the one-on-one special. You're really good at one-on-ones. So like that is the point with which you can feel confused because you sense something bigger than yourself is happening, but it's hard to pinpoint real time how exactly. Okay. Even my explanation of this right now is subpar. Like this is still perhaps a very stupid brain dead explanation, but it's the best way I could put it into words right now. And you are getting trolled by the collective unconscious. And the whole point of this is not for you to be walking around like, who's watching me? Like, first of all, this is going to sound hella schizophrenic, but I want you to comment Truman if you feel like your thoughts are contraband. Like, if you feel like you can't even have a thought without somebody looking into your thoughts and criticizing your thoughts. It's like every thought you have, every time you're talking to yourself or thinking to yourself, it's like there's a collective energy hearing you, watching you. I'm not going to say that this is exclusive to Cancer. I think it's water signs are just going to be a lot more sensitive to this. Scorpios are social, so I don't know if they're going through this, but like if this kind of resonates with you, where like even your own private thoughts don't feel private, it feels like they're being broadcasted. Okay, so with Mars on Uranus, I didn't mean to spend this much time, but I wanted to talk about this metacognition. with this 12th house Mars, you're going to have to take action off of hidden mental influences, and this puts you in a position to really um fully surrender to what you think. Okay, see, Pisces has animal communication, so I know Colby's joking, but actually, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there because I already sound crazy right now. But like, yeah, so Cancer, this is very important because that's another thing, like the higher self communication. So, um, if you're walking around all paranoid, like, oh, whatever, that's what they want you to do. This is only happening to you because you are so powerful psychically. For you to fully believe in yourself and fully have that conviction, like Neo did, is the most terrifying shit to them, because one awakened Cancer can impact millions, billions. So the only lesson I can say throughout this period is to fully believe in that delusional theory you have. But don't surrender to the need to do anything, okay? Because your perspective is going to shift, and it's going to unveil onions and layers. As these layers get unpeeled, you're starting to understand, okay, this is how this layer makes sense. This is how this layer makes sense. You're going to start to understand, oh, that person who I feel is weird, they're probably not even conscious. Oh, this is even deeper than just human beings. Like it's but if you spend too much time worrying and overthinking, oh, is this right? Oh, this isn't right. This is pressing. I have to deal with this right now. You have to be willing to go into the situation not knowing. And this is where you having faith in your own self will enable you to navigate this. That's why the water sign journey is difficult. You're in a 3D environment that prioritizes this sense of inductive and deductive reasoning, and you don't really need that. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's hard to be like, you don't have to explain yourself rationally. You can just believe something. That's what we call being delusional. So like, I'm telling you, it's hard to tell you, yeah, it was whatever. So just keep that in mind. Because when we get into Virgo season, Venus is going to square this Mars and Gemini. Once we get into Virgo season and we start to square your 12th house, this is what's going to begin to integrate the factual basis of how you should start to set your mindset. From Virgo to Sagittarius season is what, with the square to Uranus in your 12th and the opposition to Uranus in the 12th, will start to ground more how to perceive this. So for now, go fully fish-hearted. Like, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel confused, because with Uranus in the 12th and Pluto in the 8th, your brain is struggling to process nuances that exist outside of this dimension. That's the best way that I could put that into words. And if someone were to say that is the most bullshit nonsense you ever heard, I can't really blame you for saying that. And yet this is the best way I can say that. It's giving psychosis, it's giving auditory hallucinations and schizophrenia, but like, that's what you need to experience to develop your psychic abilities. Because we don't have research institutions, this is my hypothesis, because we don't have research institutions, because we don't have a formal way of actually honoring these gifts, and then psychologically, it is compounded with the fact that your acceptance of these gifts means that there's something wrong with you mentally. You have not been given the true grace to develop this. So what developing these abilities look like will feel like a DSM diagnosis. it's going, so the stigma behind mental illness indirectly disrupts the growth of psychic abilities. Because before the seed breaks through the ground, the process of growing something is going to be somewhat messy. Before you master psychic skills and it's clean, it's going to feel like you're psychotic. It's going to feel like you're crazy as fuck. That's the one, and that's where this complex gaslighting that has been socially engineered throughout decades takes its place unconsciously within the collective. So it's not as simple as just people gaslighting you. People are only parroting ways of thought that have been conditioned for years. And I don't think there's any conspiracy behind that. I think that's just the inevitability of the way 3D dimensional beings think and the conflicts that come with that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. This is a little bit controversial to say because we all know a delusional water sign who be believing stuff. I'll be the first to tell you, right? But even me, even if I don't think it's realistic, it's not about how right you are in this case, as far as understanding the process around what is guiding you to intuit this, and now having grace, because it's okay to be wrong now. It's not so much that you were wrong as much as you are understanding a different perspective of how to understand your initial impression. And that's the best way I can say that. So this Cancer season is going to have you really feel the new clothes you're wearing and how much more powerful you are. And yes, you can read minds. It's actually uncomfortable how well you are reading minds. All right. I don't know if I said, with that being said, I don't remember if I said it. I don't think I did. So we're going to step into Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio. People are saying Erica Kirk is some evil woman who murdered her husband or was behind the murder in her husband. I really did say it in my head. Yeah, that one counts. All right. And like, you know, even though it's easy to accept that Scorpio can be psychotic and evil and deranged, I don't think that's fair for her. Like, imagine your husband got boomed on television and you're now a widow with children, and within 24 hours everybody thinks that you're behind your husband's murder, and then you carry on his legacy and you're staying as happy as you can to push it forward, and people are thinking that you haven't mourned well enough, and people are calling you crazy, and people think that you're like a trafficker and that you murdered your husband. So like you don't even have the time to properly mourn your husband. That's gotta suck. And her being a Scorpio, I feel like her being born Scorpio season, it's just like how Bill Gates got that slander, like Diddy, Bill Gates. It's like being a Scorpio does not help with Drake. Like, y'all are just always gonna get this stigma around you because it is what it is. And I'm not going to say for either or. I'm just saying that would be super ironic if in reality she was just trying to mourn and everyone and a good number of people thought that she was like, that is like unbelievably fucked up. And then hyper scrutinizing her actions for whatever she does to be a part of. I'm just trying to think of a reality where maybe you guys did some fucked up shit to push these narratives, but hey, who knows? At the end of the day, it's also Scorpio. So if anyone could pull this off, it would be Scorpio, but I'm not going to push that. And it was Taurus. Scorpio's open enemy, Taurus, set all this shit up, which is the most ridiculous thing about this. Now I'm like, oh my God, like this is happening real time. Taurus versus Scorpio again. So it is what it is. You feel me? I'm thinking both could be true. I'm thinking maybe she is a little bit, maybe she does have a dark side, but at the same time, maybe she's genuinely mourning her husband. Who knows? So we'll see. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. And this is what every Scorpio has to go through. This is what Diddy had to go through. And even like giving compassion sounds like you're taking defense. Drake had to go through this. Joe Biden had to go through this. Bill Gates is still going through this. I have never seen someone go from a highly respected figure to the most hated figure. Okay, President Trump, but that happens with Gemini all the time. But like, this is why Gemini and Scorpio are top two most hated zodiac signs. Like personally, like we all know. I feel like Gemini, we take the cake number one, but still, Hillary Clinton. Like Scorpio has some of the most diabolical accusations. Like they kind of got us beat on that level. Y'all conspiracy theories are pretty fucking entertaining. I'm not even gonna lie. But and who knows if some of them are true. I was about to say, yeah. So, Scorpio, you're not having that Uranus opposition anymore. Roseanne Barr is a Scorpio. I didn't even know E40 was a Scorpio. I had no idea. But yeah, you feel me? So, Scorpio be doing some shit behind doors for real. We all know this. But I feel like the stigma behind that we're conflating with like what's actually being done. And this is where I can't say too much. I don't really know the full details. I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt because I think sometimes we can go a little bit overboard. And now we're accusing them of stuff they didn't really do because now we're adding a lot of stuff. So safe flight repair, safe flight replace. That is actually crazy. So like, yeah, you feel me? Like, I feel like maybe this message is brought to you by Scorpio. Maybe we should not cap too much when it comes to Scorpio. Look, I'm always down for that as a fellow Gemini. But like, maybe we should fact check. I don't know, man. It's nice of you, but she sets off my intuition. Oh my God. Scorpios don't mind the heat. They like it. Yeah, okay. All right. I do believe that. I guess they're used to it. They're like a Mediterranean Leo, a Mediterranean Zeus. So yeah, you feel me? Scorpio has the mind people want to understand, and people don't have the depth. I can see that. So Scorpio, Chiron is now in your op sign. You are going to go through what Libra went through. Okay. I would have never thought I'd seen the day. I know, Devin, this is actually wild. And I think what's significant about this, Ashley, I got your Cash App. Once again, any of you who would like a live reading, minimum $30, I got you. Thank you for sending me your chart details. So I will start with you. That's no problem. But yeah, guys, this definitely, I think, puts to a different, how do I say it? Oh no, default. Oh, no way, you can do that. That's awesome. I didn't know you can save default settings. That's actually crazy. This puts you in a position to realistically take the healing of the sixth house and put this in the seventh. Okay. Libra had to go through this triggering of other people. Aries and Libra, I want to say it's reflexive. So Aries is triggering inauthenticity in others, and Libra is doing the same thing relative to who they're partnering. I want to say with Taurus and Scorpio, this applies this authenticity into value. So a lack of value, Scorpio, Chiron, and Taurus is going to denote where other people don't value you as much as they should. And maybe what consequences come from that. I think it's going to be triggering others who expect. That's one thing you want to be careful about. And if you're a Scorpio rising, especially, let me know if you are already experiencing this. But Chiron in Taurus over the next few years is going to be this very strange dynamic that's not exclusive to this. So you've experienced this way before this has happened, and you'll experience this after this happened. But I have the theory that this is going to exacerbate this more, where it's like people are expecting a lot much more from you than is even deserved. It's like people are expecting you to give more of your time, money, and effort to them. I think just because they participated, just because they tried. It's like, I woke up in the morning and I brushed my teeth and I made it to you. So you need to give me money, or you need to do what I want you to do. And I think you're looking at people like, do you know I can get you killed? Do you know I have a blood trail? I'm sorry. Do you know that is very inauthentic? Does that make sense? It's like people are, a lot more people might feel entitled to your money and to your time. Chiron and Taurus can, in your seventh, could represent this like overvaluation that people might be having in their relation to you. You know how some people will take credit for what you did, but all they did was like turn the volume knob up. And they're like, see, I deserve 50% of all that work, even though you did 99% of it. That's my hypothesis around this Chiron transit. Okay. You're already experiencing this? Wow. But like, it's almost like a delusional it's almost like a delusional nature to this. Like, they're looking at you like, and then they could be gossiping to other people and telling other people, oh yeah, this person stole from me. You know, the Scorpio is trying to screw me over. But like, you heavy lifted the whole thing, or all the work. Maybe in another in a shadow Scorpio way, it's Scorpio that's doing the stealing. But I feel like this is something to keep in mind that could happen to you. Saturn, and that was fully channeled. Like, I don't know how Chiron in the seventh, I came to that conclusion. This is just what I felt to say. Is this happening for everybody? I'm not going to say, but just let me know if anything, if that's what you're experiencing. So with that being said, we do want to talk about Saturn and Neptune in your sixth house. I think that's the coolest thing that's happening for y'all. Because the in this case, Uranus is in your eighth house and Pluto's in your fourth. I'm gonna be honest, all this air signs in the water houses, I'm not a water sign. So like, I have to do my best to channel that. It's very hard for me to talk about that. So I will try my best. But if anything, that I think ties to Uranus in the eighth house as well. It's like this unconventional nature of people trying to steal from you. But that being said, oh my God, no way. Yeah, this is, of course, with Saturn in the sixth, disciplining your lifestyle. Entitlement. There we go. That's the word. Entitlement. Right? That Chiron can bring a lot of entitlement. Now, not even Chiron. I think it's not Chiron doing it, but I think the transit there could trigger that. So Saturn and Neptune are reimagining your lifestyle. Neptune is reimagining the way you live your life and how original your lifestyle is. Saturn, right, is disciplining your routine. This is what you activated late March into April. And given that the sixth house is your work environment, I think this can carve through a sense of autonomy for those of you who want to be self-employed. But please, if you're a Scorpio rising, especially if you're a Scorpio sun, this is making a 150 degree. Yep, the counter. Yep, please place your predictions. Colby, I think, predicted 13 or 14. This is putting yourself in a position to discipline how you work your work, to take a lot more seriously your health and your habits. Okay. This is very important because all this is going to break through 2028 when Saturn goes into Taurus. And then the karmic cycle since 2012 with Saturn in your sign in Scorpio is going to break through in Taurus. And then when Libra is going through with raising the standards of their partnerships, you're going to raise the value and the quality of your partnerships. But that is after you discipline your lifestyle. That's the last integration. And the disciplining of your lifestyle is going to apply towards how disciplined your relationships are. This is everything Jupiter did like 2023 when Jupiter went into to Taurus. So let's talk about Jupiter because Jupiter squares Saturn. So this square for you is going to be between your sixth house of work, lifestyle, and health, and your ninth house of way of life and philosophy. Jupiter for an entire year. Oh my God, I forgot to do that skit. I forgot to do the Pokemon skit. I have to do that. Libra, Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. I have to give it like a gravelly, like Scorpio, Scorpio. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Pisces, 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 Pisces. Pisces. Scorpio. Scorpio. Has to sound like some dark type Pokemon. All right. So yes, the ninth house expansion with Jupiter is the meaning of your own psychoanalytical nature. Okay, because Scorpio is psychoanalysis. Virgo is analysis in a physiological sense, and Scorpio is psychoanalysis. Scorpio. 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 Nice. Cancer. Cancer. I'm sorry. You know what? I think I did this skit already. Hold on. That'd actually be crazy. Okay, I didn't. I did. Oh my God, I did. No way. Okay. I believe in myself now. I forgot. So, so yeah, okay. The psychoanalysis is why Scorpios are very freaking psychic. And that's why I said it's a throwback. Okay, I forgot I did this, guys. So psychoanalysis, ninth house Cancer, is the meaning of emotions. You're psychoanalyzing the depth of feelings, and you're in the ninth showing the meaning of why people even feel the way they feel, why you feel the way you feel. And yeah. All right. Taurus. Gemini. Cancer. Leo. Virgo. Libra. Scorpio. Sagittarius. Capricorn. Aquarius.
Pisces.
I look so dusty in that motherfucker. I love it. Hold on. Yo, that was the best. That was the best rendition ever. I might have to make another version. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually kind of impressive. Wow. Well, there we go. I did have it already there. Nice. I'm glad I had the Pokemon music. I would have forgotten to do that. Pisces would straight up be Magikarp. Yup. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't even think I was living here when I did that. Damn. All right. So there you go. I really do need to make it into a series. All right, y'all. So yeah. If Aquarius is integrating their mindset into their habits and behavior, Scorpio, you are integrating how your behavior forms and shapes your way of life. All right, Jupiter has evolved what you feel your way of life should be. Ninth house here is talking about higher education. Jupiter in the ninth house is evolving the way you can teach. It's actually it's expanded throughout this year. The nature of your master's degrees, higher education opportunities, the opportunities you have to, it doesn't have to be formal either. People could be watching you and learning so much. Like it is giving you a lot more depth in the subject matter you're teaching, feeling how you're expanding this. But this is also going to represent international travel, the higher mind, and the compassion that goes into your own ascension of psychic ability. Yes, ascension of psychic ability. So I want to kind of throw out these dynamics and themes here because once again, the discipline of how original you're living your life, it's one thing to take a mindset and build a lifestyle around it, but how are you accounting for this creation of how you feel your life should be? What is your way of life? And how is your lifestyle, okay, integrating that, if that makes sense? So if my philosophy towards life is that I should feel happy at all times, right? That's my way of life. Everywhere I go, I feel happy. Saturn in Aries is disciplining. Are you living the lifestyle that enables you to be happy all the time? Party all the time. Like, are you serious about living a life like that? That's really the best way I could put that into words. Because now this I also call a rising star year. When Jupiter is transiting your ninth house for you Scorpio risings, or let's say it's making that 240-degree angle, this to me is the ascension year for you before you step into the 10th house Jupiter, and now you step into accomplishments. So this is a year that can expand your notoriety, that has you kind of gain momentum since last year to this year. And now that it's getting ready to go into your 10th house this season, that's actually what I'm very excited. You, I feel, Scorpio, are a top 5 sign that's going to make the most of this Leo season. And Jupiter in Leo, because now Jupiter is going to go in your 10th house like it did for Libra. So Jupiter in your 10th house is going to complete a cycle of evolution you began back in 2018. That was the last time Jupiter's in Scorpio. Libra just went through it. Now it's your turn, Scorpio. Venus is in there right now. I'll show you why. Venus is in there right now, and what Venus is doing is it's polishing the stage with which you're going to expand and accept these rewards and success. Okay, it's going to put you in a position to prepare for greater accomplishments, how you feel in the spotlight. In fact, it's actually really good if you're in a position where you want attention and you want your work to be seen. Literally, just put it out there. Literally, just put it out there. Venus will add beauty to what you're doing. What my theory around Venus in the 10th is that if someone is in a crowd and they're looking at, oh, I want to pick someone to do something, and you raise your hand, you're going to get picked. You're the most likely to be noticed, right? And that's just one example of this. If you're in a competition and you're putting your work out there, it's really great to be noticed in that sense. So then when the sun makes you aware of what it is Venus is polished, you're going to see this 10th house space, this reputation, this legacy spot is, and this is where now Jupiter has evolved your philosophy, what you feel, not only your philosophy is, but opposite third house Capricorn, the organized nature of your mindset, that what is it being T squared by or challenged by? Boom, shakalaka Johnson sauce. Your sixth house in Aries. We need to trademark and patent boom shakalaka Johnson sauce. I don't know how I'm gonna make it taste, but you need to have boom shakalaka Johnson sauce in your fridge right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it more like a barbecue type sauce or whatnot, but that just got inspired right now. So, and oh my God, Scorpio is the sauce. Scorpio is the sauce. I think this is a sign. Boom shakalaka Johnson sauce. I'm going to reach out for any of you who cook. We're going to have to make the recipe to this. Okay. Earth was so serious. I know. This is totally opposite Earth. You're so right. Yeah. Water has just been a riot. So yeah, Scorpio, this is definitely very interesting in the sense where it's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. I like that. I like that, Infinite Flow. I like that, Jessica. That's all right. I'm like, have you got more seasoning now? Shoot, might as well. Definitely gonna put more seasoning in that. Hey, put a lot of seasoning in that, or make it a seasoning. But yeah, so I want to once again emphasize that square. That's really the major tension of this season. Are you practicing what you preach? You know what I mean? Like, if your lifestyle does not match with what you feel you want your way of life to be, you have to, of course, align what you're doing every day to help integrate this. In Libra, it's going to release unconscious habits opposite Saturn. So you have 3 months from now integrating. But as Venus goes into your 11th in Virgo on the South Node, this is going to unlock this sense of, what rewards financially through friendship you are experiencing shift before Jupiter goes there next year. So Scorpio, I think you have a lot to look forward to. I think this is going to be very pronounced. Pluto in the 4th and Uranus in the 8th is now a different dynamic that I feel for Cancer and Pisces is just psychosis inducing. But for you, Scorpio, it's just social drama and gossip. I feel like Uranus in the 8th are, first of all, this is advice that I will give everyone, regardless of your zodiac sign. But I think this applies 500,000-fold to Scorpios. You must assume that every conversation you are having is recorded, is bugged, and everything you're going through is for a bit or for the bit. Okay. I feel like in Cancer and Pisces case, they might be paranoid that people are recording them. And in your case, it's people actually recording you. It's people actually screenshotting their messages so that they can take it to the internet and be like, see what Scorpio said? See what Scorpio said? Like, I feel like if you just assume from here on out that everything that you are doing is being recorded to be said later, then you can speak and say everything you're saying is already going to be leaked anyway. And now this is going to be you playing 4D chess and thinking steps ahead. So now when you are in an Instagram message with somebody, you're typing knowing that what you're saying is probably going to be shared to millions on social media. And now they're being used as your unofficial messenger. Okay. So who do I trust? Well, Peace Dealer, if I do that, who do I trust? How am I going to trust people? That's the neat part. What do you mean, who do you trust? Don't be naive. So there you go. And I know that sounds extreme, but like, I'm just saying, that's just my flawless advice. Like, just, and you'll never know who it could be to. And it could be someone who means well, but then they got hacked into, and now their stuff, even though they didn't want to do it, got hacked into it. Saying this is those headphones. Okay. So, you know, something to keep in mind. I don't want to really, once again, with you water signs, I don't want, or water sign rising, I don't want you to be paranoid. I just want you to be on top of it. You feel me? Like, don't let, like, I just really think and feel this is kind of your dynamic. Uranus in the 8th house is this very unconventional sense of trust that trine Pluto in the 4th has the potential to bring a lot of private issues public. In fact, with Pluto opposing Jupiter and Leo, I think that's going to be even as good as it is, the potential for this is that this can expand and blow up a lot of private issues for people to be talking about publicly. I don't even know what Pluto in Aquarius for you water signs is. Like, Pluto in the 4th to me is awakening a cosmic family. See, I understand Pluto in Capricorn in the 4th house for Libra, which is intensifying a lot of family issues, right? We saw this with Will Smith. It is so much more intense for you, Scorpio. I don't think it's as simple as just family, you know? And I think this is putting you in a position to realistically deal with this collective, supernatural, unconventional quality of dynamics that stem outside of just an immediate family. Could this mean that Candace is dropping more receipts? Yes, but it could also mean that these receipts are fake, right? So now you have even more rumors blowing up publicly. So there is the duality. I want to also bring the spectrum of what shit can be. And you know, Candace also at many different times said that Charlie got shot from behind. Then she said that he got shot from the front. Then she said he got shot from the sides. So, like, grain of salt, grain of salt, grain of salt. She's Aqua Moon. Maybe she knows what she's talking about. I'm just saying, I know what I saw in the stars, and I'm going to stick with my narrative. So, Scorpio, that 8th house transit in Gemini is actually innovating your wealth, because I think it's going to automate the trust people have with their ideas towards your vision. Mars going into there is going to really have you draw unconventional boundaries, but it's going to have you run people's ideas and pockets in a new way. And by the time we get to Sagittarius season of your finance house and it opposes that, through Virgo season, yeah, it's gonna. Oh, Lilac Ocean. I literally played it. I don't know if you joined this late, but I started this Water Tribe report playing that. So just when you're done, just unless you saw, I thought you saw it with us, but yeah, it's the Tyler Robinson video. It's the Tyler Robinson video. You could just watch the beginning of this video and you'll see. I basically show the receipts. But yes, I'm shocked by how many people will plot and scheme on other people's energy. As you can see, this reading is very messy. Like I haven't necessarily been like concrete. Like the Earth sign was very serious. This is a very messy reading. I'm saying I might be saying a whole lot of nothing, but I'm trying my best to make sense of these nebulous dynamics. So yeah, keep that in mind. This Cancer season is you, like the Jeffersons, all the way up. And you're going to step into Leo season a victor, victorious. It's going to be a lot of drama and spotlight on you. But I mean, you're one of the four lords. So that's just common. Okay. What's my wrestling name? Thor of Asgard. Sorry, that's my porn star name. My wrestling name is Chocolate Thunder, which is also my porn star name. So boom, Chocolate Thunder. Boom, boom, boom. Is Chocolate Thunder taken already? I feel like that's already been. All right, that being said, oh my God, I said it again. Damn. Okay, this time I caught it. So yeah, Scorpio, I feel like, you know, you kind of gain a whole lot of destiny. Yeah, we can talk about destiny. So the North Node coming out of Pisces 1 degree is going to also mean in your 4th. Oh, you're going to have the South Node in your 10th. We'll talk about a Leo season. So this is going to unlock a lot of career success for you as well. And I think this is going to really shift the focus around what hidden private family issues will intensify, hidden family mysteries, family lore. It's going to unlock a lot of cosmic family lore. Even saying cosmic family lore is just vague. It's like, it's very messy, but I have to double down and say cosmic family lore. Maybe you have ancient alien ancestry. You know what I'm saying? That sounds dumb as hell, but you never know. So that being said, guys, last but not least, we have, did I just say that being said? Oh my God. Okay. Kobe, let me find out you were right. This is insane. We have Pisces. Okay. Pika chocolate. Pisces. I was on the do-si-do. I was kind of tap dancing for Cancer because I wanted to handle Cancer delicately, which is so crazy. Cancer is tough. Cancer can actually handle a lot of toughness, and you have to handle Pisces delicately. I'm going to do this the opposite. I wanted to handle Cancer delicately because they're the most gaslighted. They're the most gaslighted sign, easily. And Pisces, I'm putting in the tough gloves for you. Okay. Pisces, this is full-on psychosis. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I have to once again acknowledge that you have Pluto in Aquarius in your 12th house. I don't think humanity will understand how diabolical it is to have Aquarius in your 12th house for over 20 years, or for 20 years exact. I don't think humanity will ever, like science will never catch up to this. I don't think humanity will ever truly understand how ridiculous that is. So that's why if I see a Delulu Pisces, I have compassion for them. First of all, most of y'all are already Delulu. Second of all, there is a misunderstanding of what you even mean and represent, that I feel like that gap creates so much miscommunication. Unlike with Cancer, you know what I'm saying? You can just say where like they just don't, they're learning to understand what their intuition is telling them. Pisces, you are worlds apart. People who you are standing right next to. Okay. So there's a way, once again, that you perceive reality that other people may never truly comprehend. And that's not even tied to transit. Like, that's just you. Now let's tie into transit. My theory on Pisces is that y'all, as collective entities, I'm an entity, never mind my identity. As collective entities, right? You are able to look and communicate with collectives. This is going to sound very strange to some of you who don't understand collective essences, but it's like a Pisces can speak directly to the entire country of China, right? Or to the entire world. Pisces can communicate directly with the collective as a collective entity. So they can have a conversation with one person and then carry on that same conversation with an entirely different person. Okay. So it's like if we had a collective unconscious, or if there was a collective conscious that expresses itself through the entirety of the collective, humans on this planet, animals on this planet, aliens, non-sentient objects, and Sagittarius sees this. Sagittarius is the first collective. So Sag sees this, and this is why you see Sagittarius and Pisces with animals. The amount of Sagittarian dog moms I've seen are animal moms, and Pisces animal connection. Like they're Eliza Thornberry, which is straight. You guys are weird. You guys are weird. You can talk to your animals. That's weird. Stop trying to normalize talking to your animals. That's fucking weird. Like at the very least, if you were talking to your pets and like you didn't really know what they were saying, we could just call you delusional. We could be like, oh, they think they can talk to their pets. Y'all really be talking to your pets? That's weird. And then you be gaining information that your pets, that's not normal. That's not normal that you understand what your animals are saying. That's not normal. That's not normal. No, that's not normal that your animals talk to you, okay? This is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, this is this like collective communication that it's just like, okay. So like humans, animals, non-sentient objects is where I draw the line. I don't know how you can talk to inanimate objects too. But like now, whereas a one-on-one Gemini, a Cancer, like I spoke to Richard, I spoke to Jane, I spoke to Penelope. I understand how these individuals are influenced by the collective, but I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me, right? What's happening to Pisces right now is enough to induce psychosis in the most sane and rational of individuals. So Pisces will have a conversation with someone on the street and be like, oh yeah, you know, I think it's crazy how pigeons might be secretly talking to me, right? And then they can go 5 miles in an entirely different direction, watch the TV, and the first thing that they see on the TV is a commercial of a squirrel saying, oh yeah, we're secretly spying on you human beings. But it's just a commercial. If you were to tell people, people would be like, oh, it's just a commercial. And then after the commercial, you can go read a book and you open the book to page 77, and the character is saying, oh, wow, that would be crazy if squirrels were spying on human beings. And then you go to the store, and then as you are bringing out your food, right, the person who's wringing out your food is like, hey, you ever wonder if squirrels spy on us? And you're like, what the fuck? Right? Or you're used to this already and you understand it's the collective speaking to you, right? So if you are to explain this to the average muggle, you're going to look like the guy on It's Always Sunny. Like, I talked to someone about squirrels, and then I saw it on TV, and then the corner store guy told me, and I had all these synchronicities. And people are going to be like, okay, Pisces, what's well? This motherfucker thinks that squirrels are. So, like, do you know you're being trolled, Pisces? Like, you're being hoed. Now, I think you deserve it because you're a troll. But that being said, for you to get your own medicine, Pisces risings too. It's like when the TV says what I'm saying at the same time, Kobe. Look. There is a cosmically sentient quality to this. That is the universe getting your attention. And y'all Pisces and Pisces risings know. And you Pisces moons know too. Really? Really, number 9? I said it again. Wow. I swear to God, I'm not even trying to be funny. Wow. So like, guys, I feel like Aquarius went through this, but Pisces with Pluto Capricorn, but this is on a whole different level. Squirrels, like, how the fuck did we get into this? So like, this is the type of stuff happening to Pisces, bro. This is the type of stuff happening to Pisces. And you guys are going to think Pisces is crazy. But when you see Pisces slip into psychosis, it's because this type of stuff is happening. Are you ready? Are you ready? So Pisces goes on a date. And Pisces is like, wow, that was an amazing date. You know what I mean? Like, I actually got a kiss. And I think that there's hope for this relationship. And as soon as they walk away from the date and they walk into a train car, they see an advertisement. And the advertisement is like, did you just have a good date? Maybe you gave him a kiss and you're wondering where it's going. Like, this type of shit is happening to everyone, but it's happening to Pisces. It's some. Imagine if every single moment is like this. Like, for the average person, we're gonna have like one synchronicity like this. Imagine if every single moment is synchronicity into weird synchronicity into super weird synchronicity, and it's Pisces dark fish. Heavenly Houser just nailed it. It's Pisces dark fish trolling their conscious fish. Because as a dual Gemini, I go through this at a kid level, but Pisces goes through this. And Pisces rising, thank you for letting me know. The reason why this can feel like hell, because it's going to apply to the Pisces rising. It happens to everyone, but Pisces catches it more. Thank you. The Pisces sun as well. Because Pisces is the highest level of awareness, soul understanding, or embodiment with the rising sun or moon, the collective nature of this, which is metaphysical, allows them to be aware of unseen dynamics through imagination that most other people would miss. And so it does happen to everyone. But the reason why it's going to feel like hell is because it feels like you're trapped within a dimension that other people aren't. So let me tell you why it's not hell, and it's actually heaven. Gemini is literally air Pisces, right? So let me tell you why this is significant. What you are experiencing, and it took me 30 plus years to barely glimpse this. What you are experiencing, guys, I guess we can say Gemini is Pisces light. I never thought about it. I'm not going to say that, though. You are experiencing your existence in another dimension. So what you are experiencing is the dimensional existence difference from you interacting with third dimensional beings. You are experiencing people's inability to process and perceive beyond the third dimension. However, you still have a brain and body that processes third dimensional. So you're still caught up into it, but you can still somehow sense beyond that dimension. So it feels like you're in between dimensional worlds where like what you're experiencing is almost impossible to translate that experience with muggles. Sorry. With other people who just don't understand it. Everything that I am explaining to you is a drop of a sand grain into the expansive ocean with no shore that fully explains this. So I'm basically saying also, Jessica, thank you for your Cash App. I got you. I'm basically doing my best to explain that I'm just giving you everything I'm explaining is not as an authority or expert on a subject. I'm just giving you one small facet of something that's far beyond what I can even perceive and explain, and that you have a much higher awareness of. That's why I'm doing the running joke where I'm like, all right, guys, bye. I'm not going to give you a reading because you are on such a higher level of awareness. Although I got the Capricorn moon, so I got you guys. But that being said, y'all, I like to think Pisces is actually 5D, but I'm not mad with the 4D interpretation. In fact, I trust you, Foursquare. That Pisces lives in that 4D time space. 5D to me is imagination. 4D is the mind, time, mind, and then 3D, of course, is time and space, right? Or space time. You're making it in a way that they can make sense of it. Yes. So this is where I'm saying take my interpretation with a grain of salt and walk away with your own interpretation, even if I think it's delusional. Okay, Colby be messaging me some stuff and I be giving him the side eye, like, but because I know he's a goat Pisces, I know that he's tapped into something that I'm not necessarily like fully tapped into. So I don't entirely, right? 12 house queen, right? She's been sending me these Charlie Kirk theories, and I'm convinced that it's delusional. I'm convinced it's delusional. No, wait, change it to 10. But I respect that she's a Pisces. And even though I don't believe that Charlie Kirk died with an exploding microphone, I do respect that maybe she's tapping into something I'm not aware of. Even if she's wrong, I still respect that she's probably tapping into something. Okay, you could literally see it. Really? 10? I'm on 10? I said it again? That's crazy. Then he added the delusion. All right. So this is where we're dealing with levels and layers of dimensional nuance and understanding. I just love saying nuance. That even go beyond what I can perceive and anyone else can perceive. So that's the first thing. And this is about Cancer season. Did you see I spent the first part of this Pisces report talking about I'll see you in Valhalla. The man who said that was born Pisces season. That is kind of weird. Like, why are you talking about Valhalla? And then Valhalla is apparently some witness protection program. That being said, no. Wow, Kobe, you might be right. Yeah. I had to talk about Pluto and Aquarius because we need to get that out of the way. This is into, and then Pluto's going to go into your sign 2044 to 2068. And then this is going to awaken you, which I feel like once you guys awaken, it's already over. People born in 1996 are having their Saturn return. So it's already over for us. Well, I'm not going to speak for y'all. But that being said, I'm not going to even expand on that. But that being said, oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I said it twice! Oh my God! No way! No way! No way! No way! What kind of witchcraft is this? That's insane! Wow! Wow! Jesus! I was actually really trying not to say it. I lied to Colby when he asked before. I was trying my best not to say it. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to look for where his prediction is. So I wanted to make sure we were clear on that Pluto Aquarius thing, because I do think it is a big deal and it's going to increasingly trigger this sense of psychosis. For you, right? I feel like the psychosis is in a way for you to lose your mind. Like you're going to come into an extreme sense of enlightenment by losing your mind low key, if that makes sense. And you don't have to lose your mind and you don't have to fall to psychosis. You're only going to fall into psychosis if you lose doubt within yourself. If you start doubting yourself because you let people gaslight you, oh my God, you guessed 14, bro. You guessed 14, like at the very least an hour ago. This is crazy. All right. And it's like a lot of your willingness to surrender to your unique relationship with the metaphysical is going to, especially for you Pisces risings, show you how powerful you are. Katy Perry and Avril Lavigne have very interesting charts. And I do feel like Avril Lavigne is some kind of vampire or goddess. And then Katy Perry it has a very impressive chart, y'all. She's an alien gangster type beat. She's not human. Katy Perry is not human. She has the Saturn, Pluto, and Scorpio. I humbled me. Look at her. I was like, oh, no wonder. That's some serious Scorpio energy. Anytime I see something like that. But like, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. But still, okay. Pisces, this is an extreme sense of surrender because unlike Aquarius that had Pluto in good to know, that had Pluto in their 12th in Capricorn, right? And for them, that to me was like the government spying on them. It's like them seeing it's a version of what you're going through, but in a more grounded way, where it's like, actually, but okay. Well, but in this case, Pisces, this is in a much more cosmic level. So it's like, I love how I didn't explain the Aquarius one, but we're going to keep moving. It's like you might feel paranoid, schizophrenic delusions of certain apocalyptic experiences. It's like the universe can have you sit on heavy truths that you, oh my God, Colby, that you personally don't want to accept are real. I think that's where on the end of, and it's happening to Cancer too, but on the Pisces end, it's like certain things you don't want to be true because it could have disastrous consequences. Pisces, I have the theory that the mass extinction events and the cataclysms that might occur, you're getting first insight on. You're having the dreams. You're having recurring dreams of catastrophic experiences happening. In fact, let me even go more Delulu, and I'm going to say that, and I'm channeling this right now. This might be one of the most Delulu things I've ever channeled, but I'm picking up that some of you Piscean constructs are actually fighting Doctor Strange style in your dreams in real life to protect our reality. So you know how like the superheroes protect the world? I get the sense that y'all are protecting reality from cataclysm. Like you're having epic battles in your dreams that because you had this battle, 100,000 people don't die mysteriously. Sunny in Philadelphia. Like this is the psychosis inducing shit because it's not like you can, okay, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So like that being said, thank you. That being said, it's like, okay, you'll wake up from a dream like that, protecting the simulation, and then you'll psych yourself out. You'll be like, okay, that was clearly a dream. That was clearly a dream. There's no way that this is real. And then, what? I said it 2 more times. And then, right? The first thing you do when you wake up from that dream is you turn the TV on and then you see a commercial that was literally your dream. You're going to protect the world from a cataclysm. And then the person in the commercial gives you a wink that you know was meant for you. And then it's like you're trapped in this endless cycle of what seems like so close. So I said, that being said, wow. Those two don't count because I was just recapping. That's crazy. So Colby, I mean, you were close. You were pretty much there. You kind of nailed it. But that being said, oh my God! Oh my God! No! What the fuck? Oh, stop! Wow! Freaking wow, dude! Do you see why I put the counter on? Do you see why I have the counter? Do you see why I have to make the counter? This is insane. This is insane. God. I feel like I'm trolling myself. Do you guys think this is my other Gemini twin? Because I can't. I would have never believed this. There's no way I can't be aware that this is happening. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But like, yes, let me kind of explain this again. Okay. You had a dream. You had a dream that you were fighting agents, and you fighting these agents, you were this close from the world being destroyed. And then you woke up and then it felt real to you. It was so real. It was so lucid. You had to psych yourself out. You're like, okay, that was just a dream. I totally did not just protect reality from an entire cataclysm. And then you wake up, and then you go to your TV and then you see a commercial or preview that was exactly your dream. And it's like, these people fight the agents to protect the world from a cataclysm. And then the person winks at you from the television. And this is what I'm calling metacognition. I don't think it's called metacognition, but you are having these increasingly meta-type moments that the universe is actively trolling you. And then you're caught up in the duality, like, is this real or is the universe trolling me? It's like the Truman Show, but with metaphysical entities. Okay. And even my explanation of this inception-like concept does not do it justice. It's even beyond everything I'm saying. Okay. So that I just wanted to get out the way. Pisces rising, Pisces sun, Pisces moon. Is it limited to Pisces? No, but comment Truman if you're experiencing this. Because if you're experiencing the waking simulator, you're understanding that you are living the waking dream. I'm getting trolled in real time. I'm convinced now. There's no way. I'm probably getting possessed to say, I don't know. And yeah, Pisces is definitely trolling. There's no way. Higher being connecting us through ports of our being chosen, selected. Yes. But like that sequence that seamlessly puts you in a position to realistically go from moment to moment of the collective conscious and unconscious through real life people and situations, continuing a narrative. I think Pisces is the only one capable of that level of, like, everyone's doing it, but like, I think you notice so much more, like was said. So now when we talk about Cancer season, it took me like 30 minutes just to like cover that, because that's how important that is. Now, if we tie that to Uranus in Gemini, Uranus is unconventionally innovating the comfort zone with which you can experience something like that and be comfortable with it. ESP, extrasensory perception. It is my honest, humble belief that Pisces suns are born with extrasensory perception. Pisces moons, Pisces, or I think Pisces is extrasensory perception. Yes, 17 was the number yesterday. This was what baby Buddha Luna predicted. And this is now with Uranus, it has activated since 2011. You caught yourself in real time and didn't say thank you. Okay, you've seen that. That is amazing. I can't believe you saw that. That's crazy. I didn't even say it. And it's putting you in a position to, with Uranus trining Pluto, get out of old comfort zones and establish this powerful sense, this magical sense of not only surrendering to your own unconscious competence at a universal level, but now being increasingly comfortable with the sense of psychosis. This is why if you doubt yourself, water, you're going to be finished. Like, these air sign transits are not for the weak. They're not for the weak. Pisces, with Uranus in your fourth, it's like it's unconventionally innovating the thought process around this belief in yourself. The North Node, with which is unlocking a supernatural belief in yourself. I do believe you are metaphysical genie level beyonders. So if you study Marvel, the Marvel canon, you have the Celestials, and then you have the Beyonder, and then you have the Beyonders. To me, that's what Pisces represents. The Ivory Kings, like the beyond everything universal. And maybe you guys are getting ready to awaken to an ancient personification of yourselves. That's just headcanon. I just want to sound mysterious. But this definitely, and if you are Pisces North Node 88, 87, and you're going through the nodal return, it is going to unlock a sense of this as well. And Pisces, I think what's happening is we're in a period where magic has been outlawed. I like to believe in, like mythology has alluded to, this used to be, magic used to exist, right? Magic used to exist. There were people who were shrouded by mystery. The age of enlightenment and science destroyed and removed all mysteries. And now we're in an age where magic doesn't exist like that. Obviously, we can explain everything about everything. So the mystery that was allowed for magic is not there anymore. And this isn't a bad or good thing, it's just the age. What I think is happening is that magic is going to come back. Pisces, you are in a movie called The Last Magician. And you are the last magician to exist in an age where magic is outlawed and more magicians are frauds. And no one believes in magic. You of I believe, right? And now you're going to resurrect magic for a new generation. If you were to resurrect magic 10 years ago, it would be like talking about programming and AI to people who didn't even use computers. They'd be like, what the fuck is that? That's some nerdy shit. But if you were to say it to this newer generation, it would be like talking about an innovative AI development to programmers, to people who know how to recognize magic. So it's like the new generation is going to take what you resurrect and they're going to carry it forward with science at its peak, but now magic is back too. Before, unless you believe we had advanced technology and then there was a cataclysm and we had to reset, there's that theory too. But we could say there was magic and no technology, then there was technology and no magic, and now we're stepping into magic and technology. And then maybe it resets, who knows. But that being said, okay, no, that's cool. That's stepping out. See, the thing is, I'm not even trying. The point is to not say it, but to just track how much I say. So yeah. Uranus trining this is tapping into this sense of transcendence, but how much more comfortable you are with inner thoughts that integrate this. Okay, because if you're not innovating this inner thinking that Jupiter is expanded, what more and how more your foundation does this, right? For Sagittarius, let's go around the zodiac. So for Gemini is the thoughts about myself. Gemini's fourth house is Virgo. So they're going to analyze behavioral patterns that support their ideas about themselves. Virgo is the critic. Critics unveil hidden meaning. Sagittarius is meaning in the fourth house of a hidden house, hidden meaning. So Virgo is going to see a vision that supports their analysis of how they behave. Sagittarius is the visionary, the creator. Their fourth house is Pisces. Sagittarius is going to have beliefs that support their vision of who they are. And then Pisces is the belief, the collective belief, the diabolical troll that I still look at strange because you have another fish, and as a Gemini that has another twin, I know how you can be. And then Gemini is your fourth house. So you have hidden thoughts that support your belief in yourself. And because Gemini and Pisces are the yin equation of magic, Sagittarius and Gemini are masculine, but Pisces and Gemini are the yin of magic, the yin that brings form out of formlessness. Virgo and Sagittarius are the yang of magic. Yeah, Virgo could be feminine in nature, but it is physical yang. So they bring life and reality, right? Physicality to form. That substance brought into form. So yes, the manipulative, let me tell you how you feel. I know how you feel better than you know how you feel. I hate that. So for you, Pisces, this is where you have that affinity with Gemini. This is why I can help put into words. I feel like Gemini are put on this earth to translate for Pisces. It's just, as Jekyll Yang, as of course this fourth house Uranus, this not only innovates the conversations you feel at home having, because with Uranus in the fourth, you will never feel comfortable with people who you can't necessarily talk to, right? In the crazy way. Like if you can't talk crazy with people, and Giselle, I love your chart because you have the fourth house Gemini sun and the 10th house Sag moon as the Pisces rising. You are all magic, right? But like, if you can't talk with people in a way that is unconventionally and crazy, you're not going to feel comfortable there. You're not going to feel at home. If you're in a space of people that make you feel crazy, even if what you're saying is crazy, if you don't have that space to really speak this unconventional state of the synchronicity chain you're experiencing on a daily basis, that's going to inhibit how creatively you can be. And now we can talk about Cancer season. So I had to say all that just to talk about Cancer, okay? Because with Saturn and Neptune in your second, squaring Jupiter in your fifth, okay? I love that. Oh, shit. This is putting you in a position oh my God, that's the worst. This is why astrologers get a bad rap. Oh, you think you know about me? Like some people, this is the dark equivalent to magic and astromancy, where someone can use a gifted ability to try and manipulate. But like, yeah. So, Cancer has evolved your talents. Jupiter going through your fifth has expanded how much more talented you are. Ashley, thank you so much for your patience. We are going to start with you with the live reading. The squirrels think I'm nuts. The idea that you are being communicated to by animal intelligences, especially if you're Pisces moon or rising, is a thing. Animal intelligences could be communicating with you. Okay, I know this sounds like I'm grifting right now. If you were to call me a grifter, fuck you. But like if you were, and this was the only clip of me you saw, I don't blame you. Animal intelligences, I am theorizing, are desperately communicating with you because I think they're trying to steer humanity towards the right path. Oh my God, I'm just saying anything right now. And like, I'm going to open that up for the podcast. Me, I have too much earth and air. I can't wrap my mind around communicate. Like, I know it's possible, but like, I don't think I'm at that level. So like, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Cancer has expanded the pool with which you can creatively express yourself. Let's say you're an artist. The emotion that goes into what you love to do has leveled up. Mercury retrograding is going to reevaluate your awareness of, oh, I'm that much more talented now. Like you can feel more feeling. So the square to Saturn and Neptune is like a today's price is yesterday's price, but it's like the more confident you are about what you're worth, the more creatively you can express. And that's the challenge of Saturn and Neptune. You are reimagining your wealth. So how do you say, oh, this painting here is $10,000 because I channeled a different dimension. And the price that I have channeled this dimension from raises its value. People are going to look at you delusional. People are going to be like, what? You're a scammer. What the fuck? This motherfucker said he channeled the dimensions. Elisha, we were like, where are you, buddy? We came at the perfect time. The trees have been talking, so I do believe in that. I do believe in that. But like, yeah. So it's like you have to have the integrity to reimagine value in a world full of muckles. And now the creativity that comes, and you know what I learned that made me respect Einstein? Like this is a fact. Like for me to be like, oh, Einstein believed in psychic ability and he won a Nobel Prize. That is a fallacy to say. But I didn't know Einstein believed in psychic ability. And then you have Carl Jung and all these people. Like there's certain people who believe in fringe things. Like, so them believing in the fringe things don't make it true. But knowing that Einstein believed in psychic ability skyrockets my respect for him because he's onto something. Like I know postmodern science doesn't acknowledge psychic ability, but Einstein, I like to think knew what he's talking about. Because Pisces is a level of psychic that's beyond, it's the ascension of Cancer psychic power and it bordering into the metaphysical. So like there is that tension. Shout out to Skywalk now. There is that tension with Neptune and Saturn in your second. It is anchoring this sense of wealth, okay? It is disciplining the 2.5 years after you started your own business with Saturn in your first, for you Pisces risings, or on your sun. And it is disciplining your self-esteem. Chiron has gone through your second. So the sensing of how original your worth is and is it worth it or not, you're getting out the way. Because Pisces, you let people sleep on you a lot because you know they're not on your level. So like that can inadvertently have other people play with your worth. And instead of arguing with what you're worth, especially Pisces risings, you just stand on it. And this is going to express itself through your creativity. That's the second, fifth house square here. It's going to go into Leo. You're going to integrate the Disney lifestyle. You're going to integrate Pisces, how much more creative, how much more fun you can live your life, how much more passionately you read it. Jung's chart is so awesome. Carl Jung and Casey, the Casey guy with the past life, like their charts are phenomenal. And I want to do documentaries on them because I think they dropped a lot of gems. But that being said, oh my God, 19. This is definitely more so about not only how much more fun you feel you can have, but how you're going to apply that fun into your lifestyle. Now, guess what? Let's tie this all back together. Do you know why I started Edgar Casey? Thank you. Do you know why I started with Pluto in your 12th? Because now when Jupiter opposes and the sun opposes Pluto in your 12th in the 6th, what's going to begin to happen as we go through to Virgo is that this synchronicity train you're going through, where like you're having these weird experiences. For those of you who just came in the room, what Pisces is going through is Pisces can have a dream of protecting this reality from a cataclysm, and then they wake up like, even though that was lucid and that felt realer than reality, that was just a dream. This isn't real life. And then the first thing they see on TV is a commercial for a movie. These guys are going to protect reality from a cataclysm. And then the person in the commercial winks at you through the TV. And then you go to the store, and then the first thing you see is cataclysm. Like you're seeing these potentially cognitive bias, confirmation bias, that your critical mind can try and ground and gaslight you because that's what it has to do, not realizing that this is actually the universe speaking to you or trolling you. There's that duality. And now what the Leo opposition is going to do is it's going to break through how well you can perform what was hidden. By the time we break through into Virgo, you're going to be able to show how what is all that it's sunny in Philadelphia is actually tying together. So it's not always going to be confusing. The opposition to Leo is going to build a lifestyle around all these supernatural, weird, unexplainable phenomena you have been experiencing. It's not going to be any less delusional. I'm sorry, I can't promise that. But it's going to start to integrate. You're going to start to break through this. This is the best way I can put it into words. And I think the rest of this Cancer season, now that you have activated this unconventional comfort zone around these dynamics until 2032, Cancer is now having you build creativity on top of that before you integrate through Leo, before you break through in Virgo. Because by the time Jupiter goes into Virgo, I get the sense that the South Node unlocking in your 7th has prepared you for this, but this is going to put you in a position to realistically step into showing people these receipts for real. You're going to be able to show people receipts more clearer, the same receipts you're showing people now that they're like, you're delusional, Pisces. You're going to show them and they're going to be like, you're still delusional, but wow, this is on point. Boom. And that's what I have to say. So with that being said, I just wanted to round it up to 20. That's what we have for the water tribe, baby. I think this was the best one we've done all week. I was not expecting to channel this deeply, and I hate saying channeling because it just sounds like a scammy grifting thing to say. Channeling is just gone through the mud, but I was channeling my ass off. Yeah, I'm going to step into the live readings now. I hope you guys enjoy this water sign. is definitely going to be public. You don't have to be a member to access this. And I'm glad we're leaving on a high note. And yeah, let's step into the live readings. So first we're going to do Ashley, and then we're going to do Jessica. If any one of you else want a live reading, you know what to do. Join the queue. All right. So Ashley Sama, you're born in 98. You're born in 88. You have the North Node in Pisces. Shout out to my North Node Pisces. Yep. It's very cringe. Shout out to my North Node Pisces having their nodal returns, and maybe beforehand too. Oh crap. Okay. So Ashley, we know that you having the MC in Pisces has been unlocked with the nodes and the nodal return. You have your progressed sun in Pisces. Having been born in Aquarius, Pluto getting close to there, you're a Cancer rising. So listen, guys, what are the odds that the two people who ordered live readings both have moon and rising in Cancer? You can't make this up, guys. Ashley and Jessica ordered live readings. They both have moon conjunct their Cancer rising. High priestess archetypes. Embodying goddess rulership here. That's very interesting. So this Jupiter transit is going to appropriately step you into this new evolution cycle you started last year. And because you're progressed Leo rising, this is going to facilitate the Leo breakthrough, which we'll talk about next month for you progressed Leo risings and Leo risings. So Ashley, this is really beautiful. This is really just kind of revisiting how much you've grown as you're ready to step into this new cycle with Saturn and Neptune, of course, going through the 10th house, having you establish not only this sense of authority, but now with your progressed MC next to Jupiter, where Chiron is, it's going to ground a lot more of how you define your legacy. Your legacy! And Venus is polishing the value you're embodying in a progressed sense right now. You're going to really understand how much more intuitive you are. Jessica, I'll mention this for you as well. The only difference is, Ashley, with you with the Aquarius sun progressed into Pisces, your awareness and relationship to this is it's making a 150 degree angle to your Aquarius sun and a 120 degree angle to your, of course, progressed Pisces sun. So it's integrating the behavioral nature of your existence in the 8th house in Aquarius, drawing boundaries, dealing with other people's knowledge, and how you are embodying this. Okay. And not only how you are embodying this, but how you are stepping into this priestess goddesshood. But like this development of you wearing your emotions on your sleeve, but as a progressed Leo rising, stepping into, I love that, stepping into how much more powerfully you not only embody this psychic potency, but you feel more comfortable in your own skin. The 12th house Gemini, of course, with Uranus is going to link with this. But yeah, this first house transit for you with the retrograde is going to reevaluate the way you feel about who you are. And because this is your progressed 12th house, how you're transcending these dynamics of set emotions. So this is beautiful. This is really the do-si-do into Jupiter, into Leo, preparing to really strengthen your wealth. Because as an Aquarius sun, you're going to be more aware of Venus opposite your sun, Jupiter opposite your sun, the sun opposite your sun. And this is going to break through, I think, this new direction you're taking your legacy and career and what kind of wealth you creatively begin to manifest through that. So this Cancer season is just going to really, I think, be you coming around in new wardrobes and being more comfortable in how you're evolving into the next level. So next we do have, of course, Jessica. And Jessica, unlike Ashley, right, we do know that you have Cancer making a 210 degree angle to your sun, which is also making a 180 degree angle to your progressed sun. Okay, so this is a further, more exact breakthrough. You just read my last entire few months. Thank you, Ashley Muse. I'm very grateful for this feedback. And it's really good to know because in the case for both of you, This is a new cycle. Like you've concluded the last year, you both have had your Saturn returns. You're gonna step more into your power than ever. And Jessica, we know that you do magic in real life with and for people. Shout out to Shannon. So like this is gonna transform the breakthrough of how you hold space relative to your sixth, seventh house existence. And you also do have your progressed rising in Leo. So both you and Ashley are going to, by the end of the year, have Jupiter cross the progressed Leo rising threshold. Like that is just a fact. And I think that's going to really go a long way towards a whole lot of how it is you not only feel more comfortable in your own skin, but now, unlike Ashley, with you with the North Node in Taurus, Chiron is going to unlock not only your destiny, your progressed MC linking up with your natal nodes is, and progressed nodes, is unlocking success you are destined to manifest and achieve. So the July 9th, 14, which is really good to know, we know that around July 9th to the 14th, we will see, of course, Mars enter Gemini. We will have already had the full moon. So by the 14th, we're coming into the new moon in Cancer. By July 4th is the exact day that Mars will be on Uranus. So by the time we get in between the 9th and the 14th, Jupiter is in Leo. The moon is in Gemini. The 14th is going to bring that new moon. And what this is going to do, I think, is it's going to really emphasize a whole lot of how you activate this next level of yourself, this next 12-month journey for you. It's going to set the stage for how much more social your work will be. I think this is an initial debut. And once again, with the quality of the Mercury retrograde during this period, it's going to reevaluate. Venus is going to be in Virgo. It's going to ground and reevaluate how much more psychic you are, how relative to all the work you've done with the Mystics Corner. I think this is like a reboot. This is like a relaunch. It's like you coming in so much more powerfully. You're so much more skilled. You have so much more experience. And it just pretty much prepares for you moving forward to break through. Mars in your 12th, once again, which is now your progressed 11th, is going to transcend the connections you take and what privately they tell you, where people unconsciously aren't aware that they're telling you exactly what you needed to hear in that moment, and how powerfully this puts you in a position to pioneer this next stage of evolution, which is well-deserved. I mean, like, to me, guys, that's supernatural. It is not a coincidence that both Ashley and Jessica have, of course, moon on rising in Cancer. Okay. So yeah, the queen, y'all taught me the queen show me love. The queen showed me love. All the most beautiful queens be supporting me. All the coolest kings support me. Boom, it is what it is. So that was awesome. I think this was a very fun live. You guys stay blessed as always. We're going to do the Cosmic Energy Tune-Up tomorrow. And next week we'll do the Tarot series. So I had a lot of fun. If any of you guys want to hook me up with a tip, $ the Peace Dealer, at the Peace Dealer, at Venmo, Cash App. But just you being present, just you showing up, to me is more worth any money. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for having fun with me. And with that being said, we are going to peace out once and for all. Okay, and I didn't know you guessed 20, Dove. You won. You won. Colby was close. Peace out.